By 1964, the Michigan 475 loader was an enigma in the world of heavy machinery. Standing 17 feet tall and weighing over 50 tons, this beast introduced a 9-yard bucket that was a dramatic departure from anything before it. Its massive size and power were awe-inspiring, yet its creator, the Clark Equipment Company's Michigan division, was an underdog in an industry dominated by giants like Caterpillar and John Deere. A bold innovation, the Michigan 475 promised unprecedented capability on job sites across America. Brochures called it the ultimate earth mover, and operators who ran it swore by its hydraulic smoothness and raw lifting power. But the fate of the Michigan 475 would become a tragic story of technological brilliance colliding with the brutal realities of the market. Could a machine this audacious survive in an industry that demanded not just power, but service, parts availability, and dealer networks that stretched from coast to coast? The Michigan name first appeared on construction equipment in the 1930s, when a small operation in Benton Harbor began building parts for the automotive industry. By the late 1930s, the company had pivoted to heavy equipment, producing crawler tractors and loaders for mining and construction contractors who needed durable machines at affordable prices. The early Michigan 75 and 125 models earned the company a solid reputation among contractors looking for alternatives to the higher-priced Caterpillar equipment that dominated the market. When Clark Equipment Company acquired the Michigan operation in 1953, they brought capital and ambition, but the core engineering team in Benton Harbor remained. The industrial boom of the 1940s and 1950s had proven that America needed earth movers, and Michigan was determined to build them. Through the 1950s, Michigan's engineers pushed the boundaries of hydraulic technology. While competitors still relied on cable-driven systems for their largest machines, the Benton Harbor team bet everything on hydraulics: smoother control, greater lifting capacity, and fewer mechanical failures. The 1956 Michigan 175 loader introduced a hydraulic system that trade publications called remarkably responsive. But the real breakthrough came when the engineering team, led by men who had spent decades solving problems on factory floors, began designing a machine that could move 9 cubic yards of material in a single pass. The transition from cable to hydraulics was a gamble. Cable-driven systems had been the industry standard for decades. Operators trusted them. Dealers knew how to service them. Hydraulics promised more, but the market was still proving whether that promise could be kept. By 1962, Michigan had developed a loyal dealer network and a reputation for innovation that exceeded its market share. The Michigan 270 loader had proven successful in regional construction, but it was overshadowed by Caterpillar's offerings in the large machine segment. What Michigan lacked was the brand recognition to match its engineering. In 1964, they released their most ambitious machine yet, the Michigan 475. It was a loader designed for the largest construction projects imaginable: dams, highways, open-pit mines. "Smoothest swing I ever felt," one operator wrote in a dealer report from a Nevada mining site. The 475 was engineered to compete with giants. Whether the company behind it could survive the competition was another question entirely. The Michigan 475 hit the market in 1964 with specifications that made competitors take notice: a 9 cubic yard bucket, a Detroit diesel engine pushing over 200 horsepower, operating weight exceeding 50 tons. The machine could dig 16 feet deep and lift 12 tons of material with hydraulic precision that cable systems could never match. Early testimonials from operators were ecstatic. On highway construction sites in Ohio and dam projects in California, the 475 proved that Michigan could build machines to rival anyone. The bucket alone weighed more than some competitors' entire loaders. It was engineering without compromise, but compromise, as the market would prove, sometimes keeps companies alive. In the 2 years following launch, the Michigan 475 gained footholds on prestigious projects across the country: highway construction in the Midwest, dam excavation in the West, open-pit copper mining in Arizona. The 9-yard bucket, an extended reach, allowed for faster cycle times that reduced downtime on job sites where time meant money. Sales rose steadily, and Michigan began expanding its dealer network to keep pace with demand. It wasn't just the machine that impressed operators. It was Michigan's ability to provide parts and service that smaller dealers could actually stock. For a brief window, the company had found its market. By 1968, Michigan had developed variants of the 475 platform, including wheel loader configurations that offered enhanced mobility for urban construction projects. New attachments expanded the machine's versatility: forks for industrial applications, specialized buckets for coal handling, extended booms for deep excavation. The 1969 product catalog showed a lineup that rivaled companies twice Michigan's size. "Best loader investment we ever made," a Colorado contractor wrote in a testimonial that year. But the broader market was shifting. Caterpillar and John Deere had taken notice of Michigan's innovations, and they had the resources to respond. Through the early 1970s, the Michigan 475 became a fixture on some of the largest earth-moving projects in North America: dam construction in the Pacific Northwest, open-pit mining operations in Nevada and Montana, highway expansions that carved through mountains. The machine's immense size made it ideal for breaking through hard ground, and its hydraulic controls provided precision that previous generations of loaders had never achieved. Operators praised its stability on difficult terrain, steep slopes, loose soil, the kind of conditions that had swallowed lesser machines. The 4x75 was proving itself exactly where Michigan had intended. In 1973, the oil crisis sent shockwaves through the construction industry. Fuel costs doubled, project financing tightened. Large machines like the 475, expensive to operate and maintain, saw their value questioned by accountants who had never set foot on a job site. Michigan, still smaller than its competitors, struggled to meet increasing demand for service and parts across a dealer network that had expanded faster than the company's logistics could support. Dealers began reporting stock shortages. Operators noted that some hydraulic components were failing under heavy stress. The first cracks in Michigan's armor were beginning to show, not in the machines themselves, but in the company's ability to support them. At its peak, the Michigan 475 was a marvel of industrial engineering, lifting capacity exceeding 12 tons, digging depth reaching 18 feet in some configurations, hydraulic response times that operators described as almost intuitive. But the machine's gargantuan size came with practical drawbacks that no amount of engineering could solve. Transportation required special permits and oversized trailers. Maintenance costs climbed as the complex hydraulic systems aged. In 1977, Caterpillar unveiled the D10, a newer, more efficient machine that immediately put pressure on every large loader in the market. The predators had arrived. By the late 1970s, Michigan's position was under siege. Caterpillar and Deere could offer competitive financing that smaller companies couldn't match. Their dealer networks spanned continents. Their parts inventories could supply any job site within days. Michigan's dealers, loyal as they were, began receiving offers they couldn't refuse. Better margins, faster support, the security of a brand that wasn't fighting for survival. Market share eroded steadily. Whispers of acquisition began circulating through industry trade shows. The machine was still excellent. The company behind it was running out of time. Despite the 475's brilliance, Clark Equipment began restructuring the Michigan division in the early 1980s. The recession had devastated construction spending. Competitors with deeper pockets weathered the storm, while Michigan hemorrhaged market share. By 1985, the brand that had pioneered hydraulic loading technology was fading from dealer lots across America. The last Michigan 475s were sold at discounts that would have seemed impossible a decade earlier, but the legacy remained. Hydraulic systems and bucket designs that influenced every large loader that followed, even those bearing the names of companies that had helped push Michigan out of the market. In 1986, the final machines bearing the Michigan name rolled off production lines. The brand was absorbed into corporate restructuring, its innovations folded into product lines that carried different logos, but the fingerprints remained. Modern Caterpillar and Deere loaders still use hydraulic concepts that Michigan engineers pioneered in Benton Harbor. The 9-yard bucket that seemed audacious in 1964 became an industry standard within 2 decades. The company that proved the concept didn't survive to see it. Today, the remnants of Michigan's ambition lie scattered across forgotten job sites and rural equipment yards. A lone Michigan 475 rests in a Montana field, its once polished hydraulic arms now covered in rust, the faded logo barely visible beneath decades of weather. The machines that followed, more reliable, more efficient, more ubiquitous, owe much to the bold leap Michigan took in 1964. But history has a way of forgetting its pioneers. They are remembered in the machines they influenced, not the names on the blueprints. A yellowed catalog page from that year, its glossy finish faded, still promises the ultimate earth mover. The market demanded more than innovation. The future Michigan built outlived its name. A faded Michigan 475 bucket rests half buried in the mud of an old Nevada mining site. Its edges still sharp, its capacity still massive. Somewhere in a collector's garage, a 1964 brochure promises capabilities that seemed impossible for their time, and were. The machine was perfect. The market didn't care.